Philodendron cordatum versus micans. I initially thought my philodendron micans was a cordatum. They both have that classic heart-shaped leaf, but after placing them side by side, the difference became clear. The micans has a velvety texture that gives it a subtle sheen, almost like it just caught the moonlight. The cordatum's leaves, on the other hand, feel smooth and have a glossier finish, which reflects light more intensely. I find the mican's velvety texture more intriguing. It adds a touch of luxury to my plant shelf. Philodendron micans versus heartleaf. Both these philodendrons have that classic heart-shaped charm, but the micans takes it to another level for me. Its velvety leaves feel incredible, like stroking a soft kitten. The regular heartleaf, while lovely, has a smooth, almost plastic-y feel in comparison. Micans also seems to grow a bit slower, which is perfect for my windowsill garden where space is limited. Philodendron micans versus melanochrysum. These two are stunners with their dark, dramatic foliage. But caring for them is a different story. Philodendron melanochrysum is a diva. It throws tantrums if the humidity drops even a little. The micans, on the other hand, is much more forgiving. Sure, it doesn't have quite the same deep, luxurious sheen as the melanochrysum, but its velvety texture and easier care make it a winner in my book. Philodendron micans versus scandens. At first glance, these two look like twins, but the scandens grows much faster and viner in my experience. It's a great option if you want to quickly fill a trellis or hanging basket. The micans has a more compact growth habit, making it ideal for a pot on a shelf. Plus, the velvety texture adds a touch of sophistication that the regular scandens lacks. How to propagate philodendron micans? Propagating philodendron micans is relatively straightforward and can be done through stem cuttings. I've had success taking a cutting with a few nodes and aerial roots and placing it in water or moist soil until roots develop. Are philodendron micans rare? Philodendron micans are becoming more popular among houseplant enthusiasts, but they're still considered somewhat rare compared to more common philodendron varieties like Philodendron hederaceum. Their velvety leaves and striking coloration make them highly sought after by collectors. How fast do philodendron micans grow? Philodendron micans are moderate growers, especially when provided with the right conditions. With adequate light, warmth, and humidity, they can produce several inches of new growth each month, creating lush, trailing vines over time. How to care for philodendron micans? Caring for philodendron micans involves providing it with bright, indirect light, well-draining soil, and regular watering. I keep mine near a window where it gets plenty of filtered sunlight throughout the day and water it when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch. Why is my philodendron micans turning red? If your philodendron micans is turning red, it may be a sign of stress or environmental factors such as too much direct sunlight or inconsistent watering. Providing optimal growing conditions and adjusting care as needed can help restore its green coloration. Are philodendron micans toxic to cats? Philodendron micans is considered toxic to cats if ingested, so it's essential to keep it out of reach of curious pets. I place mine in areas where my cat can't access them to prevent any potential issues. How to root philodendron micans? Rooting philodendron micans cuttings can be done by placing them in water or moist soil until roots develop. Make sure to remove any leaves that would be submerged in water to prevent rotting. Where to buy philodendron micans? You can buy philodendron micans at nurseries, garden centers, or online plant retailers. They may be available as potted plants or as cuttings for propagation. Can philodendron micans grow in water? While philodendron micans can be grown in water for a period of time to root cuttings, they prefer well-draining soil for long-term growth. Once roots develop, I transplant mine into a pot with potting mix to provide the nutrients it needs for healthy growth. Do philodendron micans like being root-bound? Philodendron micans can tolerate being slightly root-bound, but they will benefit from repotting when their roots outgrow their container. How often to repot a philodendron micans? I typically repot mine every 1 to 2 years into a slightly larger pot with fresh potting mix. How often to water philodendron micans? Watering frequency for philodendron micans will depend on factors such as light, temperature, and humidity. I usually water mine when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch, typically every 1 to 2 weeks. Why are the leaves small on philodendron micans? If the leaves are small on your philodendron micans, It may be a sign of insufficient light or nutrient deficiencies. Providing brighter light and occasional fertilization can help promote larger leaf growth. Why is my philodendron micans turning yellow? If your philodendron micans is turning yellow, it may be due to overwatering, underwatering, or environmental stress. I recommend checking the soil moisture level and adjusting your watering routine accordingly, as well as ensuring it's not exposed to drafts or sudden temperature changes. Why is philodendron micans limp? If your philodendron micans is limp, it may be a sign of underwatering, overwatering, or root rot. Check the soil moisture level and adjust your watering routine as needed, and inspect the roots for any signs of rotting. Adjusting care to provide optimal growing conditions can help revive the plant.